Hey everybody, Soap here. I just wanted to make a quick video regarding Paladins, specifically in response to the Pallytime video regarding hardcore tips. I watched the first, well, as you can see here, 11 and a half minutes of it, and basically cringed the whole time before I had to stop and just make my own response to this. Just in post here, as a quick note, if Pallytime watches this video, I want you to realize that I'm not trying to attack you personally. I'm trying to attack your stance on Paladin. With that said, I would like to suggest that you edit your videos to remove the coughing, the drinking, the stuttering, the ums, that sort of thing. Not only does it make your video shorter and more digestible, but it's also a lot easier to listen to. A lot of the points he hits on are close to being accurate, but not quite. He makes a lot of errors in his calculations, and I felt that a response video would probably be the best way to go about it, rather than some, long-winded, arrogant comment that he won't read on his YouTube video. So, well, you might be thinking to yourself, looking at these characters, oh, Soap, you don't even have a paladin. How do you know what the hell you're talking about? Well, first of all, these aren't all my characters. This is just the classic era. Regardless of that, I used to play on a private server called Phoenix WoW, F-E-E-N-I-X, which was active around the time of Retail, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm era. So it goes back, quite a few years. I'm pretty sure they actually tried to come back recently. But anyway, there I played a Paladin healer. I cleared all the content in Classic.
Greens, go in now. Full heals on green.
Up to and including Naxxramas. Just for a bit of context, I had 50 days played on that Paladin. So I played it a lot. And that's a private server. And I was one of the best geared Holy Paladins on the server when the server died, or when I left. The information that he provides in his video is close, but not entirely accurate. So let's make a Paladin real quick and talk about some of the information that he provided us. So one of the first points he makes is that the Paladin healer should always have Blessing of Light, which you get around, rank 40? Where is it here? Yeah, Blessing of Light. He says you should always have Blessing of Light on the party rather than Blessing of Kings. And that's just wrong. So, first and foremost, like everything in Classic WoW, it's situational. Okay? So, it depends on the individual fight. It depends on, how many healers you have, what instance you're in, what their gear is like, what your gear is like, how much damage the boss is doing, are there other mechanics to worry about, etc., etc. And those types of decisions only come with experience. So the more you play your Paladin, the more raids you do, the more experience you get, the more you will understand what to use and when. Now, with that said, a general rule of thumb is Kings on the tanks, Wisdom on the healers, Might on the melee DPS, and either Salvation or Wisdom, depending on the class, for ranged DPS mana users. Okay? So, at no point in time is Blessing of Light used unless you have enough Paladins to cover all the other blessings. Why is that? Okay, using Blessing of Light only helps Paladin healers, which is ridiculous. You are taking up a buff slot, first of all. You're also removing 10% stats across the board for all the other classes, which is DPS, HP, crit chance, all that stuff. All that stuff is affected by Blessing of Kings. You're removing that to give yourself additional plus healing and other paladins. Now, if you're in a 40-man raid, you might have 2 holy paladins, maybe 3. Sometimes you only have 1. And so you're reducing the raid-wide damage of 39 other people. Raid-wide damage, healing, and survivability to give yourself plus 110 to Flash of Light? Like, why? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, now if you have like 5 paladins, that's different. You have all the other buffs covered, you may as well put Blessing of Light. Sure, it helps. Okay, so that's a 40-man raid instance. Now let's talk about 5-man instances. 5-mans, same thing. Okay? If you are struggling as a paladin healer to keep your tank alive, and the difference would be Blessing of Light, as in, with Blessing of Light they would live, without it they would die, you need better gear, or you need to practice in instances that are not as difficult as the one you are currently fighting in. Okay? Basically, it's a you problem, not a them problem. Okay, even in a 5-man group, things like, it's not just 10% stamina that Kings gives you. It's 10% agility, which is dodge chance, all the mitigation. It's additional strength and crit, which is damage, which produces more threat, which allows the DPS to go harder and not have to watch their threat. Like, it's compounding. In general, with this game, anything that is percentage-based increase is better than flat. Now, that's not always true, obviously, but that's a general rule of thumb, okay? Things that give you percentages of stats are huge and only get more powerful the better gear you have. By the time you roll around to Naxxramas level gear, everyone's in tier 3 or tier 2.5, and you give them 10% increase to all stats, that is huge. That is multiple hundreds DPS per player. Absolutely massive. Okay, so let's talk about why Blessing of Light is not good. Okay, so first of all, in his video, Pallytime says you should spam rank 1 Flash of Light. Not a good idea. Now, he does mention that anything above level 20 has the same spell power ratio. Right, and anything before level 20 has a lower coefficient. And that's correct. You should only use spells above level, that you train above level 20. Now, the correct spells to use would be rank 4 Holy Light and either max rank Flash of Light or rank 4 Flash of Light and anything in between. And what do I mean by that? So when you first hit 60, or when you're pre-60, you want to use a much lower rank Flash of Light. And that's for mana issues, right? Especially when you first hit 60, and if you didn't level as Holy, which no one does, unless you're playing, with 4 other friends and all you do is spam dungeons and all you do is heal, because you can't. It's incredibly difficult to level solo as a paladin in healing gear. So chances are you leveled ret, you hit 60, maybe you have a couple pieces of healing gear that you saved up or that you got from a quest, and you throw that on. Maybe you go to the auction house, you buy a couple pieces, but in general, your gear is going to be pretty crap for healing. That's my experience. And I've leveled probably 3 or 4 paladins now in Classic era throughout the years. So, because of that, your mana is going to be dog shit. Your plus healing is going to be dog shit. It's going to be an uphill battle when you're fresh 60 as a paladin. And on top of that, a lot of the gear that Blizzard spoon-fed to people in Classic, such as tier 0.5 and all the other things, it's all shit for Paladin healers. Tier 0.5 is garbage for Holy Paladins. So all the easy gear you get initially at 60 is not good. So what you're left with is a recipe for disaster for your healing efficiency, how good of a healer you are. And so what you want to do, honestly, is you just got to beg, borrow, and steal to get that healing gear. You might struggle to heal a Dire Maul run. Like, the tank could keep dying. Now, if that's the case, and you feel that Blessing of Light with max rank Holy Lights and drinking between every pull is the only way you can heal the dungeon, then that's what you got to do. But you got to get out of that zone as quick as you can. You got to get out of that mind, that habit of relying on Blessing of Light. So in those instances, you want to use max rank Flash of Light, right? Like when you first hit 60, you put max rank Flash of Light on your hotbar and you spam the hell out of it and pray that your tank lives. As you get better gear, you get more intellect, you get more crit, you get more plus healing, your spells become more efficient, and they become to hit harder. So you're able to downrank because you keep the same spell power coefficient. Meaning if you have plus 200 healing, the way it works in Classic WoW, by the way, it's based off of a 3-second cast time. So a 3-second cast spell gets 100% plus healing. So if Holy Light for some reason was 3 seconds, and you had plus 200 healing, your Holy Light would get plus 200 healing. But because it's 2.5, I'm doing this wrong. You would get 166 plus healing on your Holy Light if you had plus 200. Flash of Light would only get... What is Flashlight? 1 point... No, I think it changes. I think it's 1.5. I can't remember. It's been a long time. It's been many years. Yeah, so you would only get 100 on your flashlights. But that's true for all Flash of Lights. So you would get 100 at max rank, and you would get 100 for rank 1. And that's kind of the essence of his video. He's saying that you should stack as much plus healing as you can and reduce the rank as much as you can. But that's the wrong way to go about it. You need to adapt the ranks you're using based on the gear that you have and the encounters that you're in. So, like I said, initially you probably want to start around somewhere around Flash of Light rank 4. Okay, and if you find yourself going, start drinking mana potions. And if you start drinking mana potions and you're still going, then you want to reduce it a little bit further. Maybe rank 3 or 2. Okay, but by the time you start to hit, MC, BIS, BWL, BIS, and beyond, you're going to start using rank 4, 5, 6 Flash of Lights. Okay, and keep in mind, too, that the fights are a lot different nowadays than they used to be in terms of length. Okay, when the fight only lasts 2 minutes and the only person taking damage is the tank, you can spam max rank Flash of Light. There's no reason not to. By the time the fight's over, you're still going to have 70% mana, whether you even healed him or not. So downranking to rank 1 is nonsense. Okay, now let's say you're in a really, really long fight, like Twin Imps. Okay? And there's all kinds of raid-wide damage going out because people keep aggroing bugs, and you're going all the time. You need more efficient heals, then you would step down to a rank 4 or 5. So typically what I would do with my hotbars, I'd have a rank 4 Holy Light on my 1 key, because my 1 key is what I spam the most, or if you're using Healbot, or something like that, like the left click. Then I'd have my max rank Flashlight. Then I'd have, what is it called? Divine Favor, that makes the Holy Light instant cast. I can't remember the name of it. It's like, I remember the symbol. It's like the little hands. Have that here as my oh shit button. Then a max rank Holy Light for whenever, the tank got crit or crushing and you need a big heal right now. You can do a 3-4 and hit him with that 100% crit big holy light. That's what it does. It changes the crit chance to 100%. That's what it does. Now I remember. Which just refunds all your mana anyway. So it's situational is what I'm saying. Right? You want to have all these spells on your board. Because you don't want to like pigeonhole yourself down into, and this is something he says in his video. Pallytime says in his video. Oh, we have a rank 1 Flash of Light Paladin. Oh, we have a max rank, Flash of Light Paladin. Why? Why would you pigeonhole your healers into specific scenarios? Okay, ignoring the fact that not everybody's perfect and not everybody can heal. If you assign one person to only one person heals the raid, and that person isn't playing perfectly, then some of the raid members are going to die. Or what happens when that healer dies? Or that healer goes or that healer gets hit by a raid mechanic and they can no longer heal, or they have to run away or something. Then your only healer doing raid healing is screwed. What you want to have are well-rounded healers that can handle any situation. Okay, so you're on Fire Maw and the raid gets hit with a breath, or one of the dragons from BWL. I don't remember all their names. Pretty sure Fire Maw was one that did one. And so now you have 30 people that all need to be topped, but you also know that they don't have aggro, and they're not going to be taking any more damage for the next 10 to 20 seconds, okay? Perfect scenario to use some super efficient low rank or mid rank Flash of Lights to top them all up, because it's not urgent. You can pump out FOLs really quick, and you don't need to worry about them dying. Okay, but then all of a sudden the tank starts getting trucked. He takes a crushing blow and then a crit. Okay, he's at 20% HP, and you know that he's going to die if you don't do something about it. Well, then you would Divine Favor, Max Rank Holy Light, and heal him to like 80% HP in the time it takes one global cooldown. Okay? That's the type of healer you want to have. You want to have 6 to 10, based on the raid and pugs and gear and all that other stuff, of those types of healers. Not people who, the tank died because I'm the rank 1 Flash of Light Paladin. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, don't do that. If you're the healing officer, or you have any type of influence in your guild over what your healers do, don't be that guy that tries to assign them all individual skills, because that is going to give you a lot more heartache than just teaching your healers to play their classes efficiently and knowing when to use what skills and letting them heal, okay? Whenever I do healing assignments as a raid leader, I say, you and you're responsible for the tanks. The rest of you're responsible for, this or that. I actually have it for my own personal use. I have, let me show you. Individual. Oh, jeez. I haven't done it since Classic. Hold on. Let's take a look at here. Okay, so for each individual fight, I actually have, this looks terrible because it's in Excel. It actually looks a lot better when it's on, maybe I actually have it on Sheets. Backup. Compendium backup. No, this looks awful too. Okay, this one's not too bad. This one's a bit better. Okay, so as you can see here, as a raid leader, I've got, okay, these priests are healing these individual people, these, they're PIing these people. But I don't give this to the healers. I don't give this to the other raid members. I might let the officers have this. But the most micromanaging I will do is assigning one specific healer to a couple groups. And typically that's only for things like specific boss fights that need that sort of thing, right? So you'll see here, right? So this Paladin these 3 paladins on Vale are all healing the tanks, or the main tank, excuse me, whoever happens to be tanking the main tank. This 4th paladin is healing the main tank and the off tank. The priests are all doing, circle of healing, which is only for Vale, and then the druids are healing the raid. Right? Perfect example. That's the type of assignment I would say. I would say, paladins, you're healing the tanks. Druids, you're healing the raid. Go, basically. And I wouldn't say things like, okay, Paladin 1, you're healing this person. Paladin 2, you're healing, this person. I would be sure to make it clear that if they need to help with the raid, they can. You don't pigeonhole your healers, right? So this Lightweaver might have the responsibility of healing the main tank on Vale, but he can heal the raid if he needs to. And I always stress to my raid members that is how it should be. So, in conclusion, the point I'm trying to make here is that playing a paladin, like playing any healer in WoW or any class in WoW, is a dynamic scenario that changes based on your group and your raid. For example, the way I heal when I'm in a 40-man pug is a lot different than when I'm in a 40-man guild run, and is significantly different than when I'm in a 5-man dungeon run. Understanding your group and understanding your class is key. While there are general kind of guidelines to help you along the way, such as, downrank to 1, downrank to 4, etc., that's not the best way to approach how to play the game. What you need to do is be willing to change, be willing to listen to new information, and to adapt your playstyle based on the situation that you're in and the way that the people around you are playing. But don't use Blessing of Light.